The life of a leader is that of sacrifice. You need to get out of bed even when you don't feel up to it. To leadership and mental health. Leadership is one of the most important roles in life because almost every aspect of our life has to do with leadership. Now, a leader is someone who inspires, who rallies around people, builds confidence in people, and who helps people attain a goal that is set either by some other people or by themselves. Now, a leader motivates, encourages, directs, and points his or her followers to the right direction. In summary, a popular quote says that a leader is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Why is it important to prioritize as a leader the mental health of the people you're leading as well as your own mental health? If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for keeping me going. And if you're seeing my face for the first time, hi, my name is Paula Ekene, and I give you relatable tips on how to stay on top of your mental health game. You might want to consider subscribing to my channel, and please remember to hit the bell button so that you will get to know when new videos are released on my channel. So guys, to the business of the day. Are you a leader? Then today's video is about you. Yes, I am proud of you, and that's why I'm going to give you 4 mental health tips specially dedicated to you as a leader. The first is, as a leader, you need to understand what mental health is and what mental health is about, and how mental health affects the workplace, the work that people do, productivity, outcomes, choices, and all of that. So, as a leader, you need to understand these tips. Why? Because you need these tips to be able to maintain your team, motivate your team, and build a healthy team. Now, you don't have to be a shrink, you don't have to be a psychiatrist or even a therapist. You don't have to have so much skill, but you need to know the basics about mental health. And why is this important? Hmm. Can you guess why? The basics are very vital. It will help you to know what to do per time. It will help you to identify things you should within your team, and it will help you to, pick up the right source of motivation, right sources of reward, right types of leadership styles in specific persons. As a leader, I am a leader myself, and I am of the opinion, I'm sure it's popular opinion anyways. I'm of the opinion that different people actually have different personalities, and so the leadership style you might use for one person might not be the same that you will use for another if you really want to make things work. You need to understand the basics of mental health. You need to understand the dynamics of the workplace and how much of a support the workplace is to employees' mental health. It doesn't have to be employees all the time. Leadership is applicable to the religious institutions, the schools, the academic institutions, and anywhere. I mean, I can't think of any place that leadership is not important or is not functional or is not necessary. So, leadership actually entails that you know the basics of mental health. It's going to save you a whole lot of stress. So, as a leader, it is good you get interested in mental health issues, and you can start by subscribing to this channel. Yeah, it focuses on mental health relatable tips. Secondly, understanding mental health allows you strike a balance between empathy and demand for accountability. I will explain. Now, some managers or some leaders struggle to gain balance between um, being empathic or understanding the plight of their subordinates, when it comes to mental health issues, stress and depression and all of that, and demanding accountability. I mean, none of them should suffer. So, if you understand what the stakes are, or if you understand that irrespective of what the issue is, um, the standards need not be lowered, then you can identify mechanisms, you can identify strategies that you can adopt in order to maximize what is available and optimize available resources in order to still achieve those high standards. Now, as a manager, you necessarily do not have to drop the ball when it comes to taking care of the mental health of your subordinates, as well as ensuring that goals are met. Remember, that's why you're a manager in the first place. Now, for instance, I've had scenarios, I've had instances where a subordinate or maybe someone, a follower, comes and says, I have challenges in my home, and because of that, I'm not able to meet up with this and all of that. And we sit down, we look at the drawing board, we try to restructure. Okay, if you work from home from this time to this time, would you still be able to do this? And they're like, yes, I just cannot be physically present at work, but if I'm at home, I can deliver on this. And then you track the success of that promise. And if the promise is fulfilled, you know that this employee is not necessarily looking for ways to run away from challenges. There are instances where you assign new roles to people, and just by assigning that new role to these persons, they become way down. They come down with anxiety and all of that. It is your duty as a manager to identify these instances, identify the possibilities that this would happen. I can also use myself as an example. There was a time when I needed to be okay, stay in bed on bed rest because I was heavy at the same time, was almost having complications and all of that. So I had to sit down. My manager called me and he said, this is what we need to achieve. Would you be able to, or would you want to go on leave? And I said, no, I'm not ready to proceed on leave. And he said, okay, you want to be present. Can we explore the option of working from home? Would you? And I was like, I am perfect with it. And it was as though I was not working from home. It was like I was present at the office because productivity was high. I felt encouraged, I felt understood, and I was like, you know what? This manager has gone out of his way to bend the rules. I need to give this my best because I want him to understand that I am not incapacitated, that it is just a phase that will go away. And it did. And I mean, it was so good while it lasted. So you don't need to sacrifice performance or accountability at the altar of empathy if you understand what mental health is about. Provided you understand the peculiarity of this particular issue in question, you'll be able to find a way around it. Now, to the penultimate, if you understand mental health issues, it will help you to identify struggling employees. You'll be able to identify subordinates that are struggling. Everyone has a bad day. I've talked about how to handle a bad day. Meanwhile, if you've not seen the video, I have two episodes, two seasons of how you can handle a bad day. I'll put it here. I'll link it up here so that you will watch and understand what I mean by how you can handle a bad day. So there are bad days for everyone. I mean, it is something that helps us grow, helps us develop our emotional intelligence and all of that. So if someone is having a bad day, it's different. But there are people who there's this protracted non-performance, there is protracted redundancy, they keep making repeated mistakes, they repeatedly fail at tasks that they are given. There are many ways you can identify a struggling employee, especially if it's someone you've worked with before. And all of a sudden, this person starts making mistakes, second guessing themselves. Your knowledge of mental health also helps you identify these people and initiate a conversation. Remember, like I said earlier, you don't have to be a psychiatrist, you don't have to be a perfect fit or a professional. All you need is initiate a conversation, let them open up to you, and remember to maintain confidentiality and recommend them to the services that are available. I remember this particular experience I had with one of my subordinates, and at the end of it, suicidal ideation was exposed. It was like something that happened at the nick of time. It was a timely intervention, and I was grateful for that. And this particular person was grateful for that. There are many ways you can identify consistent absenteeism, apathy, and a lot others. So, understanding understanding mental health helps you to identify struggling employees. And if you identify them early enough, you can prefer care, you can prefer support, and just telling them that you care and that you're willing to provide the support that they would have you provide as much as you can to the best of your ability actually solves almost half of the problem. So yeah, as managers, as leaders, it is important to know this. Almost there, guys. Now I'm speaking to you as a leader. Your knowledge of mental health reminds you, tells you, informs you that as much as the mental health of your subordinate or your follower is important, your mental health is also vital. Yes, you cannot pour from an empty cup. As a leader, if you're having mental health challenges and you leave them unsolved, you're going to cascade it. If you're not careful, you will cascade it, you will take it out on whatever it is that is before you. You cannot effectively lead if you're empty. And what mental illness does to you is that it empties you out, it turns you inside out. How do you, what are the few ways that you can actually keep your mental health in check as a leader? First of all, identify your trigger zones, identify your trigger points. What triggers you? Don't let it get to that point. What is it that makes you lose your focus, lose your balance, lose your cool? Don't let it get to that point. Always proactively prevent yourself from getting down, from breaking down entirely. And of course, remember to take care of your physical health, exercise, eat healthy diets. You are not just carrying yourself, you're also carrying other people, your followers, your employees, and your hands mentally to an extent. They are going to mirror what you show them. And if you're someone who is mentally fit, mentally alert, and mentally woke, if there's anything like that, they are going to want to copy that. Also, in order to avoid stress, burnout, and all of that, identify when you need space, when you need a break. As a leader, please don't joke with your leave, don't joke with your time off. Please take it. You're not taking it for yourself alone, you're taking it for the people you're leading. If your mental health affects the quality of your leadership, it will affect the quality of the output of your team. So please take your time out. There are people who do not believe in taking leaves. Please take your leave. Take your leave. No be you work pass. Take your leave. And many leaders that understand how productivity spikes when you've gone on leave and come back, they will encourage you to take your leave. Remember to embrace coping strategies, meditation, yoga, and all of that. And please seek help when you need professional help. As a leader, remember you need to identify what your needs are. Prioritize your needs so that you'll be able to lead others effectively. That's about that for this episode. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Until next time, guys. See you. Bye bye.